So there's this quote I really like. I don't even know if it is a quote, if someone actually said it, but it goes something like, planning is only useful insofar as it helps you decide what you have to do right now, as you have to do today. And that is very true. It's not something that I follow with all my heart, because it's really hard. I am the master of overthinking and over planning. I would have plans of like what I'm going to be doing in like 10 years. But being out and about for so long, I mean, I've been traveling for over a year now, and it just gives you a little bit more clarity on how little you know about your future. And I mean, next week, I mean, next month, things that have happened recently in my personal life and in my family life have made me painfully aware that I truly don't know. I truly don't know what's going to happen, and I truly don't know how long we all have on this earth. So the title of this video is just a reminder that, like, well, it indicates travel, right? Pack everything and go. Just pack everything and go. But it doesn't have to be travel. Just do anything. Just do something. And we try to perfect our plans way too much before we act. But I'll tell you this, with this YouTube channel, for example, this is probably my 60th, 63rd, something like that video. And I can tell you that a couple weeks ago, when I was starting off and I made my first video, I could not expect that I would be shooting my videos like I am today, that I would be talking about the themes that I have been talking for the last dozen or so videos. And it's because you really can't plan it, you know? Like, I learned so much more about editing in the 10 days that I was really committed to just producing as many videos as I could. And I ended up like creating 60 YouTube videos in 10 days or something like that. Like, my progression from day 1 to day 10 of just doing things got me so much farther than I could ever have gotten just through planning. I literally, by the end of it, I was editing better, I was communicating better, I had better themes for my videos. It was just, everything was just better. Everything was just better, and I felt less pressure on what types of themes, because that's something also you realize. Like, you think videos are really important, but they're absolutely irrelevant, because if you're just starting out, no one's going to watch your videos anyway. So you can literally just talk about anything. People talk about niche a lot, like, oh, you have to have a niche, and you have to have this, you have to have that. No, you don't. You just have to make videos, and like, each video you make, just try to make it a little bit better on one sense or another than the previous video you made. And that's it. That's all you can do. Because if you plan, you're not going to follow the plan. And that's not because you're lazy. It's because the plan doesn't actually make sense. It's impossible. And I repeat that. It's impossible for you to make a plan that's going to make sense in 2 months. Because in 2 months, there's going to be so much more new information on your personal life, on your family life, on your professional life, on everything, that this plan is going to be relevant. You're going to be like, yeah, this plan would be good for that condition, but it's obviously not good for now. I don't mean stop planning. Plan constantly, but plan insofar as it helps you through your day. As soon as you know what you got to do today, the plan doesn't matter, because it's going to change tomorrow anyway. So just pack and go. Now, more specifically on the travel side, I am so glad that I just packed and went. And I had been thinking of it for years. It's just like, I had been thinking of opening my first company for years, and I never did it. And sure, I was young, but still, like, I'm just so glad that I did it. And my first company was a brewery store. I sold beer during the pandemic, and I was 19, and we went bankrupt. It was a terrible company. It was a terrible business model. It was bound to fail. But I'm so glad I did it. You know, I'm so glad I did it. And because I just thought of it for so long, not selling beer specifically, but I just thought about opening a company and being my own boss and actually making money, because I had never really made money until then. And I was in college and I wasn't happy, and I didn't really connect with college life and with parties and with all that. And like, I was like, what am I doing, you know? And as soon as you make your first move, you realize all your plan just falls apart because it was irrelevant. You were assuming so many criteria that if one of them isn't true, everything falls apart. And believe me, half of your premises are going to fall apart because they're not going to be true. You start making calculations like, oh, and if I make this much out of this many sales and I manage to sell this much, then I'll have this as profit, and then I'll be able to take this as like a dividends, and all of the rest I will reinvest, and that will get my sales to this. Like, this is all wrong. The amount you're going to sell is not going to be what you thought you were. It might be high, it might be lower. The amount you actually take as profit is going to change. Everything is going to change. Or like, oh, I'm going to go to this country in the winter, in this country in the summer, in this country in the spring, in this country in the autumn, and then I'm going to stay here for 5 days and there for 3 days, and all of a sudden you meet someone you love, like either romantically or someone you just really hang with, and they're going somewhere else, and then you go with them. And that's not because you're not following your plan, it's because the plan is irrelevant. The plan was only ever relevant when we was telling you what you should do today. Tomorrow the plan is going to change. The goals are not going to change. Look, that's the thing. Like, people mix up plans for goals. You should have the same goals. If you want to be a basketball player one day and then a doctor the next, and you keep changing that throughout 20 years, you're definitely not going to be anything throughout those 20 years. So don't get me wrong. You should want to be something. You should want to achieve something. And that shouldn't change so easily. But how you're going to get there, that changes all the time. That changes all the fucking time. So just back and go. Just open your business without any idea what you're doing. I don't know how big this YouTube channel is going to be when you're watching this video. Right now it has 22 subscribers. And this video is going to come out in about like 4 or 5 months because I scheduled videos in advance. I've got maybe 60 videos that I just scheduled literally once every 2 days for the next 6 months. And then this video is going to come up. So when this video goes on air, there might be, I don't know, 25 subscribers, or it could be 50, or it could be 100, or it could be 1,000. I don't know. And then when you actually watch it, it might have been a month later, or 6 months later, or a year later. I have no idea where I'm going to be at. But I definitely plan for it, because if I do, I'm just bound to fail. So just start and figure things out on the way. All right. I hope this helps you.